Welcome back to the sewing room. I hope you come sew with me today. The quilt's finished. Yay! I've got it in the washing machine. Got it ready to go in the washing machine. It's not there yet. Oh mercy, things are falling back there. That could be a bad sign, couldn't it? Today we've got our sweatshirt that we did our sleeves on, and so many of y'all have watched that and subscribed, and I am tickled to death to have all you new subscribers with me in my sewing room, my playhouse. That's what I call it. I've washed this a couple of times because I wear it all the time because I just love it. I do. I just love it. So we're going to decorate the front of this today. Okay, I was going to put that little gingerbread person on there, and I did, and then I decided I didn't like it. So he was an iron-on, and he didn't stick real well anyway, so he was easy to peel right off so we could start over again. Yes, he was. So we need to find the center of our sweatshirt. And the way I do it, and the way I've done it for years and years and years, is I lay it out here, and I go from underarm seam to underarm seam. There are rulers out there that you put around the neck that show you the center, show you how far to come down if you're adding something to your shirt. I never had one of those. I may get some at some point. They're on Amazon. But this is the way I do it. I just lay my ruler down here, and see, this ruler doesn't come all the way over to this seam, so because this shirt is more than 24 inches across the front. Okay, and I'm just going to eyeball it straight as best I can. Then I come in there, and then I bring this over to its straight line, and then I make me a good solid line there, because then I know that's straight underarm seam to underarm seam. Does that make sense? Okay, one side to the other side, and I've done it so many years that I eyeball pretty good a straight line, you all. I'm gonna make it good and dark so y'all can see it. This will wash away, don't worry. Now then, to find the center up and down this way, take my old school of, here's 24 inches. Come back over here and put another mark here. That's 24 inches. Now then, between the two, I've got 23 inches. So I need to find half of 23, which is 11 and a half, which is right there. Okay? Is that right? Take it a half inch to half an inch. Yep. No, that's not right. I need to come over here a half an inch. There we go. No. I need to find the center of the ruler, which is 12. That would be right here. Y'all, I'm way off. Like I said, no worries, that'll all wash out, but this is going to be covered up anyway. So, we come in here. We've got that on 23. Come in here. We've got this on 1. So if we bring that in a half inch on each side, then we find the center of our ruler, which is 12, which is right here. Now to make it go up straight up and down, you're going to lay this across just like that, and make sure that this straight edge mark right here is all the way on your line, all the way over to here. It's not like this. It's not like this. It's even all the way across. Now then, we're going to make us a big line all the way down the center of this shirt. Right like this. There we go. Here's our very center part of our shirt. Boom, right like that. Can y'all see that? See? Here we go. This is our center point. Alright, we're through with that ruler for a minute. A hot minute. Now then, we're going to make us a little baby quilt, just a little bitty quilt that'll be about this big. You can make any quilt pattern you want. Make it as big a pieces as you want or as small a pieces as you want. You can make just little squares, you can make strips, you can make triangles, you can make log cabin, you can make whatever your little heart desires. Any kind of a quilt that you want to do. If you want to just do your strips like this, like we did the sleeves, it'll match perfectly. But because we're going to cut this into a tree shape, I don't think I want just strips. I think I would rather have little bitty squares. So I'm going to show you all a trick to making squares. Just all even squares all the way around, okay? So we're through with this for the time being. Throw it back on the ironing board. We don't need that yet. This is what we need. We need our strips, or what we have, our pieces. This is just a pile of scraps right here. I just have a pile of scraps. These are left from our sleeves and my quilt that I did, okay? So this is a great way to use up these little bitty pieces. Okay, so we're just going to lay us some out here. Like I said, you do not need a big piece. You do not need a big piece. So this is what we've got. Here's some pieces that are already kind of in little strips. We'll see what we've got going on here. Probably use up some of these. I don't think I want that piece of solid white. I'll just lay it over to the side there. And I don't want that. It's not Christmassy. We just want our Christmas fabrics here, okay? So this is what we got going on. This one I found in a jelly roll pack that I bought. Ordered off Amazon's Holly. I think it's pretty. So we're going to add it. These are 2.5 inch pieces. Okay, and that's what we want. So I'm going to lay this one over here to the side because we already know it's 2.5 inches. I'm going to grab me a handy dandy little ruler here. This is just a little square ruler. And we need to start squaring up some of our pieces here. Some of them are already pretty squared up. Some of them are not. So I want 2.5 inch strips, you all. That's what I want to start with, our strips. And if I can find pieces that are all about the same size, I can cut several at one time. That looks like it's already about a 2.5 inch strip. Alright, let's start with these right here. And I'm right-handed, so I always cut on the right-hand side. Alright, so got these to where they will cut into strips. I'm going to overlap them just a little bit on my 22 mark here on my I'll fold that back up under there. Get this going straight, that going straight, and we're going to cut this on the 22, okay, with our rotary cutter. Now we know we have a good straight line there. And I'm going to come over 2.5 inches which will be at the 19 and a half, because there's 1 inch, there's 2 inches, and there's my 1/2 inch. And we're going to cut it again. And that's just a little bit thick, so I'm just going to take my scissors, finish that up right there. Alright, there's a set of those strips. Alright, that's probably plenty, because like I said, we don't need a lot. We do not need a lot. So let's see what we can do here with this. Lots of threads. Flannel tends to grab your threads. And hold on for dear life. It does, it does. I love flannel fabrics though for the fall and winter months. They're just so warm and snuggly, and that piece is, well, let's see, maybe that side's a little straighter. Yeah, we can cut it right there. That's probably about all I can cut. Alright, here we go again. Gonna put this over here on the 22 mark. Get it squared away. You want your selvage edge down here, or your folded edge that you know is straight, to be on a straight line right here. Here or there, it doesn't really matter how far up, because that's not the measurement we're looking for. We're looking for the measurement that goes side to side. So we want to make this straight, and it may look crooked on our table here. I'm going to get the bigger ruler. Alright, now then, we're going to cut it at 22, and then we're going to come into 19 and a half again. Okay? All this stuff gets up here and gets in my nose. I've got way too much to cut here. Way too much to cut. You do not have to have a rotary cutter for this, you all. You can cut it with your scissors. But a rotary cutter will save your thumb joints. It will. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull off some of these and just flip them over, and we'll lay them right back down here and cut in a minute. You just want to cut as many as you can. Here comes Mr. Andy up the steps. She's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and lay those over there. Now let's get these done. Come in here to the piece that I cut. We know they're all straight and even. Put it on the 22 and come over to the 19 and a half. Okay. Now then, y'all, I just decided I'm going to do this just a little bit different. I did, just while I'm sitting here talking with y'all, sewing. You know what? We could crazy quilt this. Have y'all ever done a crazy quilt? They are so much fun. So easy to do. I'm going to continue. Those strips are way too big. They've got to be cut down again, because they're not 2.5 inch strips. They are 3.5 inch strips. So we've got to cut an inch off of them. Alright, there we go. We'll lay those over there in case we ever need a little inch piece for something. Alright, now then, let's do these. Let's see what we can cut here. I think I'll stick with the squares on this one, since that's what I started to do when I started telling y'all how to do this. We'll just stick with the squares on this one. We'll crazy quilt something else, because we've got some more to do. We do. Like I said when I started, you can do any kind of a quilt pattern that you want to do. Crazy quilt is fun because you get to use all the pretty stitches on your machine. And you get to use big, thick thread, which I don't have here today. That's the reason I backed up again. You get to use real pretty threads that are thicker. And they just turn out so pretty. Like the old-timey, scrappy quilts. And they're just crazy pieces all over the place. And they're a lot of fun. They really are. So we got just a couple more here to get us a few more little strips, and then we'll have all of our pieces. Let's cut this one. And I always start by cutting a small edge off, just maybe a 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, so then I know that my strip is square. Okay. You do not have to do that if you feel yours is lined up right and it's, you know, all even. You don't have to do that. Okie doke. Here are our pieces. Right here. I think this is plenty. I got this out in case we wanted to add some others, but I think we'll just go with what we've got there, and it'll be fine. Toss those right down there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start sewing these together. Pretty side to pretty side. And we want to sew them down the long side, okay? Not end to end like we did before. We're going to sew the long pieces together, okay? All the way down this side right here. All the way down that way. And we're just going to start sewing until we get a big long piece. Then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, here's my piece. You can see some are short pieces, some are long pieces. That's perfectly fine, because really all we need is a piece about like this. So we're going to cut it again. Now I did press my seams. You always want to press your seams, always. It just makes your finished product look so much better and everything. All right, now then, I've got me a seam right here, about in the middle of mine. And I'm going to lay it like this right here. And I'm going to start cutting. Okay. Lay this seam where it's straight along one of my horizontal lines. Okay. And this one I'm going to lay on about 23. It's all folded even. And I'm going to cut it off right here on 23. And you'll see that I've got way more to cut off here than I do here. Okay? There we go. Now then, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut 2.5 inches again. 23 will take you to 21, 20.5. And we're just going to cut this in strips. We've got our 1/2 inch at 20.5, so we're going to come down here to 18. Just want to keep dividing, counting, because well, that one went wonky, didn't it? All right, I believe that's about got us. I think it's got us plenty of pieces. All right, now then, we're going to sew these back together. Yeah, we are. But we don't want them sewn this way. We want them to be wonky. Okay? So you want to sew your pieces kind of wonky. Okay? You don't want any two to be the same, top and bottom. Okay? Match up your little seams right here. Match up your seams. Whether you pressed them out or to the side, doesn't matter. But you want to match them. Okay? And I'll bring you back when I get this sewn together. Alright, so y'all just hold tight. Alright, after our sewing and cutting, this is what we end up with. And it's wonky. See, we've got pieces hanging out here. That's fine. No worries. Because we still got to quilt it. And I have cut me a piece of flannel. It is just the width of the fabric by 14 inches, okay? 14 inches this way by the width of the fabric. So I'm going to turn it like this because our tree, which I've cut, oh, and my tree may be too big. Let's see what we got here. He will barely fit. We'll cut him down just a smidgen and he'll be fine. I'm going to use 4 layers of this because I want it to stand out on my shirt just a little bit. So we're just going to take our layers of this right here. Actually, let's do something different. Let's fold it in thirds because 3 is about all we need. And that way I know I have plenty for the width. So we'll just fold him in thirds here. Does not matter if it's a plaid. It does not matter if it's a solid. Use what you've got. I just happen to have this because I bought a little bit extra. Let's see if our tree will fit on here now. This tree is just this happens to be a silhouette design that I bought. I think it's supposed to be a card. I resized it, colored it in, and printed it off just to use as a template. And print you just any kind of a tree. Anything you've got, you can just print off. Okay? And then you've got your design. If you want to do a candy cane, you want it to be sure you get it all the same size all the way around. Find you one on the internet somewhere. Save the photo and print it the size that you want it. That's all there is to that. You can have templates for anything, any kind of a design that you want. Okay? Now then. And I printed mine in 2 pieces because I did not have enough. It was not going to be, my paper wasn't big enough to print off the whole tree like I wanted. Y'all need to get you a pair of scissors that are paper scissors or non-fabric scissors. These are old fabric scissors that my family decided to use for everything, so I designate them my non-fabric scissors. And they're purple, so purple's for paper. That's how I remember that. Alright, now see, here's our tree. We want to make sure our fabric is big enough, and it is plenty big enough to do our tree. And I'll scoop him around here just a little bit on the bottom. So, there we go. Now then, we want to take this, put it on here, just like so, And we're going to take this back to the machine and we're going to quilt it up and down or across. I think we'll do this one across because it will be quicker and easier. And to do that, I'm going to start and draw me some lines with my handy dandy washable marker. And I'm just going corner to corner on a set of squares here. And I'll move to the next set. And we'll go corner to corner on the next set of squares. And that will be fine. And this is how we're going to quilt this. Corner to corner on this set of squares. On each little set of squares. And for this, I'm just using my regular sewing foot. I'm not using a quilting foot. If you want to use a quilting foot and you want to do some of that, what I call fancy stipple quilting on this, go for it, sister. Use whatever you want to use. Some of mine are not perfect, but you know what? That's just fine with me. I don't go for perfect. I go for fun and whimsical, and if you try to make it perfect and then you've got one little piece that's not perfect, well, it really stands out. But if you just go with willy-nilly all the time, like I tend to do, then surprise, surprise, it works out just fine. All right, I'm going to take this over there. I'm going to sew it, and I'll be back. Because y'all, we're just about finished with this cute little sweatshirt, okay? So y'all take it to your machine, sew these across here like this, and I'll be... Okay, now we've got something that looks like this, front and back. See? Front and back. There's our back. So, this is what we're going to do to get our tree over here, okay? This is our heat and bond right here, heat and bond. It's like a heat sensitive, heat melting glue on this side, and it's paper on this side, okay? So we want to iron this glue side down to our back side of our tree, okay? This is going to be the back side of our tree, right here. And we want to put it glue side to the back side so our paper side is facing up, because that's what we're going to put our Christmas tree on. It's what we're going to draw our tree on, okay? So I'm going to turn y'all up. Well, I'm going to iron this, okay? Just iron it on. That's all you have to do. And this is Heat and Bond Light. You can pick it up at Joann's, maybe Walmart. I don't know if quilt shops have it. Anywhere you buy interfacing, and you can order it off of Amazon. I ordered an entire bolt because I love it for using anything like this. It holds it in place, and it's easy to draw on. This does not take but just a second to press this on here. You just want to get it on there good and around. Just press it on with an iron. You do not have to have a heat press for this. You can do it with an iron. Okay, there we go. See how it's all stuck on there now. Now then, we are going to draw our tree. Exciting. Yes, I know. Do we want to do our tree this way or this way? Let's look. Do we want to make our tree go this way? I think we do. I think we want to make him go this way. Just to mix it up just a little bit more and not have just plain straight across squares, but to turn them at a diagonal. I think that'll be fun. So, here we go. We're going to line him up just like this. And we're going to take a pencil or a marker or whatever we have, and we're just going to draw it, trace him around. Just tracing. Okay, we're just tracing him. This is the top part. Okay, that's the top of our tree. Okay, I guess I should have done this so I know exactly what I'm doing. So I get them exactly the same. All right, now then we're going to do our bottom piece. Now then, here comes the very bottom piece, okay? All right, here we go. Now then we can get our bottom around here even and pretty shaped. Because, you know, after all, we want it pretty, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay, there's our tree. We're through with that. We can either save it or we can throw it away. That's totally up to you. Make sure our lines are all pretty here. This looks kind of like a candy kiss on the top, doesn't it? All right. Now then, let's cut her out. See how easy that is? I'll get me some better scissors than that. I don't want Pinkins shears. And then you just cut. Just cut around it. We're finished with our ruler. Can hang it back up. Y'all, we're just about finished. Just about finished. And there's our tree. Isn't that cute? I'm so glad we decided to do this way. Now it's quilted up and down, which is so adorable. And our squares are on the diagonal. I love that. I do. Makes it so much more festive and interesting. Now then, you've got choices. You've got options. And I don't know if I want to do this or not, but I'm going to show you what you can do. You can come in here and you can trim your tree. Look at this. You can add trims across here. You can add some pom-pom trims. Isn't that cute? You can add rickrack. That's about all I've got is rickrack and pom-poms. But I've got different colors. Isn't that cute? Now I have to decide, don't I? Although I can always go back and add it. So I think I'll leave it off for right now. And then if I decide I want to add it on, you all tell me if you want me to add the trim. Does kind of make it look finished, doesn't it? Those little pom-poms. You could drape them. You could go diagonal with them. You could go straight across. You could go from here to there. Let's start and go this way. Let's see if we like this. I think I'll just leave it plain, just because I just like plain. I think when you put that on it, it hides your quilting, and I don't want to hide mine. All right, now then, we're going to pull this piece of paper off of here. And to do that, you take you a pen, and you just score it down through there, right like that. And then it peels right off. And I don't know if you can see or not. Maybe you can. Look how shiny that is. Can y'all see how shiny it is? It's got our layer of heat and bond on this. So now, when we put it on our shirt, it's time to get our shirt back, you all. Remember, we fixed our shirt first thing, didn't we? We got our center point on it. And here it is. Now then, you just want to line it up, find the center of it, and I do that usually just by folding it in half, right like that, and just put it on there, just like that. Boom, center to center. Then this will be straight, that'll be straight, but that's not in the center, is it? So we have to scoot it over just a little bit. There we go. Isn't it adorable? Now then, I'm going to put a couple of pins in it, just because I didn't do this at the ironing board. Because I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to iron it until it seals down on there, okay? So I'll be right back. All right, there she is. Now then, she's not going to hold real well like this, okay? So I'm going to take her over there to the machine. And here's where you've got choices. You can just straight stitch around this. Perfectly fine. Leave the edges to ravel just a little bit. It looks adorable. Or you can do a blanket stitch, which is what I think I'm going to do. Or use a zigzag stitch. Just zigzag around it. That works great. Use a decorative stitch. Choices are up to you. Whatever you want to do to go around the edge of this. But you do need to sew it on. okay? You do need to sew it because it will not hold real well, okay? So I'm going to take this over to the machine and I'm going to use a blanket stitch. I'll be back when I get it stitched. And just like that, she's all finished. Isn't she cute? I absolutely love her. I am going to wash her before I wear her. I will wash it before I wear it to get my blue marks off. You know, got lots of blue marks. But there it is. Isn't it cute? So I know a bunch of you all have made these sweatshirts with the sleeves already. Send me pictures. I want to see. And I may show them in another video. I would love to show your work off on my channel. So make them, email them to me. Email's in the description box below. I love to hear from you all. I do. It just makes my day when I get emails and comments and people sharing what they're doing. Oh, it just thrills me. So be sure to share with me what you all do in your sewing room or in your kitchen. For a long time now, I've had people sharing recipes with me, and I love that. So it's just like I've got a whole bunch of new friends. Got a string right here. I've got to cut it off because we don't want strings hanging. So you all just share with me your adventures in sewing. And if there's something in particular that you'd like to see me do, leave me a comment below or send me an email, and I'll be glad to see if I already know how to do it. If I don't, maybe I can figure it out and it'll be in a later video somewhere down the road. So y'all remember, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video. That'll be all for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.